Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the You Deserve Better podcast. I hope that you are well today, and I just want to start off this episode. As always, just want to share some love. Thank you so much for choosing to listen to me, for tuning in today, for putting your faith in me and trusting me with my guidance, support, and just love for you all. I appreciate it more than you will ever know. And I just love those people that continue to come back time and time again and listen to further episodes. Those of you that reach out to me, that share your stories. Just, I love your messages. So feel free to always reach out to me, leave comments, share with a friend. It does not go unnoticed. So today's episode is all about healing after heartbreak. We are talking moving on from an ex and getting yourself back, your power back, your love back, being happy again, being joyful, being at peace. This is about getting your spark back, having your glow up journey, and just turning this whole thing around. Because I'll be honest, healing from a breakup, it is a fucking journey. It is shit, it sucks, it is hard. It's like what's the saying? 1 step forward, 2 steps back, because you may think that you're having a good couple of days or a good week or so, and then you have this trigger or you hit this wall and it just feels like you go backwards. And that's the thing with healing from a breakup, heartbreak. There is no quick fix. And you have to go through those feelings, those emotions, every part of that grief cycle. And I'll be honest with you, regarding my own experiences, I've been on both sides of the coin. And I'm sure maybe others of you have been as well, where sometimes it is you that's done the breaking up, or you are the one that has been broken up with. And regardless, they both come with challenges. I always used to think that the person who broke up with me, had it easy. I've since learned that is just not the case. It just comes with its own difficulties, and actually it can be more of a mindfuck, or at least that's how I felt at the time anyway. But yeah, I feel like this episode, I just want to offer so much love and comfort, but also some insight and empowerment for navigating the different phases of a breakup and heartbreak, because regardless of where you are on your journey, in your experience, you could be fresh out of a relationship and wallowing in your pit, feeling like it is the end of the world and things will never get better again. You could be months, years down the line and just thinking, oh my God, it is time I got over this dude. I am sick of living my life like this. Or actually, you could even still be in your relationship right now, but wanting to end it. And just want that little bit of comfort and insight and reassurance about taking those next steps in that future, because the end of a relationship, regardless of the circumstances, it is hard. It is so hard. And it can be so difficult on both parties. So whilst there is no quick fix, and I don't want to sit here and just tell you that I can turn this around for you in like the click of your fingers, that's not the case, and I would not lie to you. I do believe, however, that there are definitely moves that you can make, steps that you can follow, and just various different options that can help the process. And so yeah, on that note, as I mentioned, breakups are hard. They are an emotional roller coaster. They are ups and downs, twists and turns. You can be feeling so many different emotions. I'll give you an example. When I broke up with my last partner, the one who I've mentioned about before, the toxic relationship, I couldn't fucking stand the guy. And eventually I did end it, but yet there was still there was this relief, there was this instant relief. It was like a weight off my shoulders, like, hallelujah fucking Hallelujah, I've done it. But then at the same time, I was still worried. That he'd move on, that maybe I'd never meet a guy. Did I make a mistake? All these questions going round in my mind. And with that, that's why I prolonged the agony essentially, because I still continued to keep contact with him, and that was through my own fears and own insecurities. Going back to when my ex-husband left me, again, very different experiences there. When he left, there was complete confusion. I was just so taken aback, just so in shock. Felt that complete rejection, that I wasn't good enough, that I was a shit wife, that I didn't feel worthy of a relationship, of a husband, of a till death do us part relationship, And I would say that both relationships ending were equally as difficult, but in their own different ways. And if I'm completely honest, I would say that my last relationship ending that was harder in a way, because it was like such a mind fuck. It was such a mind fuck. I think some of the unhealthy relationships that are meant to end can be some of the hardest ones to get over, because you're not in a good place, because you have been potentially worn down, or they've messed with your head, or you're in a negative headspace and things like that. It can be really, really quite toxic. So you can't even think straight, So regardless of the situation, relationships, breakups are an emotional roller coaster. And there are different cycles of that grief. It's similar to losing a loved one through death or losing a pet. You have to go through that grief cycle. And with that, there's often denial, which definitely I struggled with, for example, with my husband leaving. Just that I was so confused. I couldn't accept it. Surely he's going to come back. This doesn't make sense. It's going to be okay. The next step, anger. You can become angry at them, the time that you wasted on them, the behavior that you accepted. You can become angry at yourself in that respect as well, There's also the bargaining. Oh my gosh, I've been there, done that. Definitely with my very first relationship when I was a lot younger. I literally pleaded him to not leave me. I wouldn't leave his house. It was really quite embarrassing looking back at it now, but I was 20, 21. But yeah, I was practically begging him not to leave me, that we can make this work. I'll do anything. Oh my God, I can't believe that is the same person that I used to be, Of course, another part of the cycle, depression. Those sad, weepy girl days where you just want to be in bed, you don't want to speak to anyone, you don't want to do anything, you just want to wallow in your pit, crying, listening to sad music, watching sad movies. You can feel that you'll never be happy again, that there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And with that, there can actually be a guilt. Again, I've mentioned this before, the odd time that I did smile, or God forbid, laugh and be happy, I would feel guilty for it. Oh, but you said you couldn't live without your husband, and you said you'd never be happy again. And I was like guilt tripping myself. And then, of course, at the end of all these feelings is that acceptance. Now, whether you've been able to get closure from a person or not, you can give it to yourself. I definitely struggled with this with my ex-husband when he left, because there was no big reason. He'd not cheated on me. He'd not done anything wrong. There was no big reason. I never got that from him, and I found that very hard. But you are able to still get that closure and that acceptance. You get that from yourself. If anyone ever listens to Mel Robbins with the whole let them theory, I'm so big on that now. And it's like, let them. Let them do them. But with that, the more important part is let me. Because we choose our feelings, we choose what we want from our lives, and we can choose to give ourselves closure and acceptance. How we go about that is very different. There are more positive ways than others, of course, but ultimately we want to get to that acceptance stage. How long that may take is different for everybody. And again, it doesn't matter regardless of the length of the relationship, whether it was 1 week, 5 years, a lifetime practically. The grief cycle and process can take time, dependent upon you, your circumstances, the circumstances of the relationship and the breakdown, just so much. And we can't rush it. We have to feel those emotions. We have to, I've said this before with any sort of healing and growth journey, we have to feel through those emotions to get past them, to get to the other side. And with that, we cannot skip stages. Each one is vital and absolutely necessary to get to the other side, to heal, to get to that acceptance. We cannot skip stages. And if anything, when you try to fast track the process, get over this faster, that is when you can actually hold yourself back. And I feel that that's something that did happen with me. For example, with my ex-husband, I think I definitely rushed the process. And I think it's just because I don't think I even knew that I was doing it at the time, but I think I was so fixated on, I'll keep the house. Now I'm starting a business. Okay, I'm going to go to Santorini. And, I wanted to be there for my 30th no matter what. So I did that. And it wasn't until maybe a year and a half down the line where I started feeling these emotions of envy and jealousy towards other people, bitterness. I didn't really like the person that I was becoming with regards to my thoughts and feelings about my ex-partner, about myself, about others, things like that. And of course, that's what took me to therapy in the end. And I was able to get through that and overcome it. But I definitely think I rushed that process. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am so guilty of toxic positivity. When I have a bad day, when I feel this and that, it's like I need to brainwash myself to get out of this. And more recently, I have been advocating that sad girl Netflix days are so needed sometimes. If I want to feel angry, I'm going to express that in a healthy way. If I'm going to feel sad, I'm going to cry. I'm going to do what I can to acknowledge these feelings and emotions, because that's the main thing. We have to acknowledge them. And then once we've acknowledged them, we can try and get through them. But each step along that cycle is sacred. It is so necessary. We cannot skip it. And with all that work that we're doing on ourselves, with all this healing, it is so totally normal that even though we're angry at this person, that we maybe resent this person, we can still miss them. We can still care for them. And it gives us so many mixed emotions and feelings, confusion ultimately, because you potentially still love the person, but yet you're angry at them, you hate them, they're ruining your life, they're making you sad and miserable, So normalize these feelings. It is okay to miss this person. It is okay to stay in your bed and cry all day. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to feel confused. It doesn't mean that you're not healing. In fact, it actually means that you are. I promise you, you truly, truly are. As long as you are feeling all these different emotions, you are healing better than you could ever know. And with that and all these feelings and emotions, we can reflect a lot on the relationship, can't we? Every area that we loved about the relationship, that we want back, all the times that we will miss, that we will never get back. But we can also look at the negatives to the relationship, and I think that's important as well. As part of the process, we can actually look and think, wow, actually, they weren't even that good of a person. They didn't treat me that well. Or you can look at yourself as well, which I will say, it is important to not pick yourself apart with regards to your reflecting. I think it's good to reflect on a relationship, on a past relationship, but more so when you're in a healthy way in terms of how you want to grow and become a better person for yourself and future. I think it's best to do that once you are at those end stages where you are feeling more healed and closer to that acceptance, because when you are reflecting and looking at all the areas that you could have been better, where you've gone wrong or things like that, you can really pull yourself apart when you're already extremely vulnerable. And it's more important now than ever to love yourself so much, to give yourself the comfort, the validation, and the peace and calm energy that you so need right now. And so, yeah, reflect if it comes up, but please don't think of all the areas that you could have been better, or that you've gone where you've gone wrong or whatever, and feel free to do that 6 months to a year from now, or at any time where you feel that you are in that better headspace where you can actually learn and grow rather than literally just picking on yourself ultimately. When we are reflecting on any relationship and the areas that are good and bad, it's important to actually remind yourself that breakups happen for a reason, okay? They happen for a reason. The relationship has ended because it was broken. Now, of course, I have heard of relationships that have ended and then the couple have gotten back together and then they're living very happily and everything's hunky-dory. And that's amazing. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, a relationship ends because it is broken. And people can come back together, but I think often for it to work, it has to be way down the line. And I'm talking years, you've had a different lifetime almost, on your own or maybe with another person, things like that, and then at another time you've come back together, because in that time we change, don't we? We change all the time. We learn, we grow, we adapt, we evolve. But at this moment in time, the relationship has ended because it is broken. And with that, I'm actually going to recommend a book, and it's actually called A Breakup Because It's Broken. I can't remember who it's written by. I've recommended it before, and I will pop it in the show notes. But I highly recommend that for anyone going through a relationship breakup, regardless of whether you are the person who was broken up with or you are the one doing the breaking up. It is a beautiful book and so many light bulb moments, so much empowerment. Little bit of tough love, but ultimately a lot of comfort with that. And so with that, breakups, they happen for a reason. If this relationship was meant for you, it wouldn't have left you confused or hurt. You wouldn't be feeling this way right now. Relationships, they're saying, relationships are hard. No, they are not. They take work, but they are not hard. And if a relationship is hard, it is causing you pain, confusion, discomfort, then it's not meant for you. And actually, it's better that this has happened sooner rather than later. And it's important to remember that with regards to the whole, it's a breakup because it's broken. It's the relationship that's broken, not you. Again, you are not broken here. Don't pull yourself apart. Think that you are the problem. You are not. This is the relationship, and that is okay. Relationships end. But this is not the end for you. So I mentioned this briefly before about how now is the most vital time than ever before that you really pour that love into yourself, that we're not being hard on ourselves, we really comfort ourselves, we give ourselves the love, nurturing, comfort, reassurance that we would want to have from other people. Be maternal with yourself. This is a time that you need it more than ever. And with that, we have to reconnect with ourselves. We have to pour love back into ourselves, remind ourselves who we are. Who were you before this person came along? What did you enjoy? What lit you up? What made you happy? What brought you peace? What gave you satisfaction? Who were you before they were a part of your lives? Think back. Think back to what you used to enjoy doing, the places that you went, the hobbies that you had. And with that, who are you becoming now? Who were you before them, and who are you becoming now? Get back to those hobbies that you potentially maybe abandoned throughout this relationship. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. Sometimes we lose ourselves in a relationship. We forget about ourselves and all the things that we like to do, whether that be on our own or with our friends or as part of a community, things like that. Get back into those hobbies. Do the things that you used to love doing. Do the things that bring joy just for you. Because it's good to have people around you, but equally it's good to do the things for you. Now that could be as simple as painting, colouring, dancing around your living room, sitting in the sunshine, going watching a sunset, taking yourself a coffee. It could be taking yourself out for dinner. It could be booking yourself a spa break. It could be anything. Do the things that bring you joy for you. And with that also, it's important to, whilst we're pouring love into our mindset and making our brains happy, also pouring love into our body. It is vital that we get movement through our body, because through movement, we are moving energy. All of that stored energy, those emotions, those negativity, they need to be moved through your body to be released and be removed from your body. So movement is vital. Maybe you're not big on the gym, but maybe you love going out for walks. Get out there in nature. Go and have a run around your estate. Or go to a dance class. Go do yoga, Pilates. Take up swimming. Some sort of movement. It could even be just that you have a 5-10 minute stretch in the morning when you wake up. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And with that, whilst we're pouring love into our body, I'm talking nourishing foods. Don't get me wrong, when you're going through a heartbreak, of course you want to whip open the Ben & Jerry's. Of course you want to order in rather than cook. Of course you just want to open up that family pack of crisps to yourself. I get it. But then there comes to a point where actually you realise that it makes you feel worse, it makes you feel sluggish, tired, irritable, bloated. And then we can start to consider pouring some love through nourishing foods. Get those fruit and veg in, high protein, healthy carbs. Yeah, it's good to eat whatever you like. I'll always advocate eating whatever you like. You know, my diet is insane. I eat burgers, pizzas, donuts, whatever. I'm there and I have it all. But I still know what is most best for my immunity, my health, for nourishing my body deep, deep, deep within. And I know that I always feel so much better for having that. And of course, if you're going through something like this, it's when you need it more than ever. And on that note of looking after our body, definitely sleep. Now, I know this may be difficult. You may be struggling to sleep. Maybe all of a sudden you're living completely on your own and you're not used to that. That's what I went through when my husband first left. All of a sudden, I had a house I had to fend for myself in our house. And I never wanted to live on my own, ever, ever, ever. And that was scary for me. That was a huge transition. And I did get scared at night. So sleep may well be disrupted. Of course, you're going through all of the emotions, the heartbreak. You could be crying yourself to sleep. Sleep when you can. Even if it's a nap in the day, really try and encourage yourself to sleep. With that, a good bedtime routine. Get off your phone. Do a little meditation at night, read a book, listen to some calming music. Do what you can to create a nice, pleasant atmosphere to get that sleep. And if needed, take a little nap in the day whenever you can to just get in those extra Zeds, because sleep is so important for you right now in your body. Overall, just love yourself. Get back to loving you. It should never leave us in the first stance, but when we go through a breakup especially, because we can feel rejected or broken or not enough, all these feelings, we can really begin to dislike ourselves and tear ourselves apart. But we really need to love ourselves more than ever before. It is vital. And like I say, with that, going back to just enjoying the things for you, romanticize those solo moments, even if it is just a coffee date with yourself or just getting dressed up and putting some makeup on, making yourself feel good. Romanticize the life that you have for yourself. We are so freaking lucky to be here, and other people are just a part of our lives. They're a small part of our lives. We are here for ourselves. So put as much as you can into yourself. And also with that, you'd be surprised the more things that you do on your own. I mentioned it on a previous episode. There is such a unique joy and presence and happiness that you get from doing things on your own. There's this real freedom and autonomy and self-discovery of being single. It's incredible. It is an incredible time. So whilst this is the end of a chapter, this is the beginning of a whole new chapter. And right now, you may be in the thick of it and you just don't see what is waiting around the corner for you, and all the happiness and all the opportunities and this incredible life that is waiting for you. On that note, actually, another little recommendation for a book is The Unexpected Joy of Being Single. So they're the two books that I read when I came out of a relationship, probably within the 3, 4, maybe 5 month mark of being single. Within that sort of time frame, I got the it's called A Breakup Because It's Broken, but also The Unexpected Joy of Being Single. Highly recommend it. It really does shift gears on the perspective of being single and the reality of it and how fucking incredible it actually is. And it sort of just shifts your perspective as to how we have been sort of brainwashed into believing that we get happiness and joy and success from being in a relationship, and it's just not the case. And when it really shifts your perspective in that way, it's like, wow, I'm fucking getting out there and living for me. This is awesome. It gives you this whole new lease of life. So yeah, highly recommend both of those books. And like I say, I will pop them in the show notes for you as well. But yeah, whilst we are pouring into ourselves, enjoying all of this solo lovely time for ourselves, of course, it is highly important to seek connection, to have love and connection around you. Again, more than ever, I think just as important as it is to have this lovely time by yourself, it is just as important to have as much contact with people as well. So lean into your circle, your trusted people, the people who you know without a shadow of a doubt love and care for you deeply and want what is best for you. Spend as much time as possible with those people. They could be your friends, your family, maybe it's some of your colleagues. Have you got a trusted mentor or someone who is a part of a community that you are in as well? Surround yourself with these people. Spend time with the people who make time for you, who hold space for you to open up, whether it's to laugh, to cry, to criticize, to offload, anything. And they can just be that shoulder to cry on. They can just be there to listen and give advice as well, if that's wanted. But most importantly is to not judge and just stay neutral about everything. That's so important. Connection is so important for you right now, to be around the people who truly care, to feel that love around you, because when we're around others and we're laughing or even crying, having deep conversations, getting our thoughts out to others, just offloading in some sort of way, or just being around other people and having a laugh and forgetting about everything for a moment, this is all part of your healing. You're actually healing in this moment around these people. It is, again, all a part of the process. So it's so, so, so important. And with that, you can actually, of course, I'm going to mention it. You can join support circles, women's spaces, things like what I offer, where women get together, go for a coffee, go for a walk, do all these nice things. Lean into those. Is there somewhere around you that hosts a women's circle or sound healing or a support group, a walking group, something like that that you can join with? Maybe it's every week or once a month, just something that you can look forward to and be around people who are not usually in your circle, who you can really open up to. Some of the women's circles that I went to in Bali, and even since I've been back home as well, have been the most supportive spaces I have ever been to. I have felt so seen, heard, held, understood, accepted. I've felt that more in those circles than sometimes speaking to my own friends and family. There's just something so unique about it, and that's why I will forever advocate women's meetups and events. And that's why I'm wanting to host them so much myself, because I felt the difference that they have made for me, and I am in a position that I want to give that to others. So yeah, what have you got that's local to you? It doesn't even always have to be in person. Some people, they have online, virtual meetups, things like that. It's something that I'm actually considering myself as well, because I've got so many people in my community that are up and down the country and also not even in England, and they'd love to come to the meetups, but of course it's just so far. So it is definitely something that I'm considering as well, because even when I will always advocate in person because I think that's important, but when you've not always got access to it, you can still get a really good connection from others through that virtual side as well. It is still super positive. Okay, other things that we can do in order to help ourselves along this healing journey of heartbreak is grounding. I'm, of course, always gonna plug grounding and spirituality and all those holistic kind of tools for healing, because I just think they're the answer. they're the answer to everything as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, just some practical sort of tools. 100% meditation and or breath work. You could do the one, you could do them both. Extremely vital. Literally look on YouTube and you will be able to find a meditation to help with heartbreak. I promise you now. Whether it's just the frequency of love and the heart chakra, or whether it's to help you get over a breakup, things like that, there is a meditation out there. And of course, breath work, with regards to how I mentioned before about movement and moving energy in the body, breath work quite literally releases trapped emotions, releases stagnancy and stored energy. It removes it from the body. It's probably one of the best practices that's really going to help your vibration, your frequency of your body, if you are spiritual and into all that. It's just incredible. With that, with breath work, you can end up having a full crying episode, a screaming episode, just letting it all out. And the release that you feel after that is just indescribable, I swear. It's so, so good. Alongside meditation and breathwork, journaling. When you do feel at a point that you want to write things down, put pen to paper, maybe look at areas where you've grown, lessons that you've learned, things like that, do journal some prompts like, what did I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What do I need right now? Who do I want to be? How do I want my life to get better? And just put your pen to paper. And honestly, your subconscious just takes over and answers the questions, and you could be writing pages and pages. And it's a way to offload, but also to get those answers that you seek. Nature walks, 100%, as I mentioned before, getting outside. We need to connect with the earth. Again, we are living beings. We are connected to Mother Nature, to the earth. We need to ground. Hug a tree, whatever you've got to do. Sit on the grass, Connecting with the earth when you feel lost, hurt, confused. It just helps to balance your energy and just to ground you into that moment. A lot of these practices as well are, well, other than the journaling, of course, but meditation, breath work, the walks, the things like that. They help you get out of your mind and into your body. And that's what's really important, because when you're going through a heartbreak, your mind's just constantly racing. Oh, what if this? Or shoulda, woulda, coulda? And what next? And am I going to be alone forever? And why aren't I good enough? All those things. We need to get away from that. We need to turn off those thoughts, even if it's just for 5 minutes in a meditation. But if we can get a little bit longer while we're out and about and just focusing on something else to take us away from that, we need to get out of our mind and into our bodies. I tell you what though, talking about meditations, if you actually also go on YouTube and you could type in the search of a cord cutting ritual, like energetic cord cutting, and I've done this before. I think I've mentioned it in previous episodes. When I've had a relationship, even a friendship that has come to an end, in fact I think I've done it more so with friendships, I'll do a cord cutting energy cleanse ritual, some sort of meditation, and that really does help, because again, we're focusing on that person, we're second guessing ourselves, and there just needs to come a point where it's like, that's enough now, because we are energetically connected to that person. It's really hard to switch off, so it really does just help to cut that cord and come back home to yourself, pour your energy into yourself rather than externally onto other people that are, let's be honest, no longer a part of your life. Another thing you could do, it's not really my kind of thing, but guided visualizations for release and healing. And it kind of ties in quite well with the cord cutting, because when I have done that before, it mentions about a gold sword and a gold pair of scissors, and you cut the cord. You can see the person ahead of you, and you cut that cord and wish them well, wave them off. But also you can do visualizations for releasing and for healing, whether it's just that you picture a white light of protection around you, whether you visualize another being that is, an angel that is looking over you, that is caring for you. Just something that is going to give you that little bit of comfort, because really grounding in spirituality and some sort of faith in whatever way, shape or form can really prove so beneficial in these circumstances. Finally, I think I will encourage you to also really focus on what you are consuming. So this kind of ties in with everything really that we've spoken about. So the people that you are around, that you are surrounding yourself with, what are they saying? What information are they feeding you with? What energy are they giving to you? Because what we consume is so important, whether that's the people that we hang around with, the social media pages that we follow, listening to the news, the music songs that we listen to, the podcasts, the books that we read, the things like that. It's already so important, but right now, when you're in a vulnerable state, is when you really need to focus on that more than ever. So be around those uplifting people. Read self-help, motivational, inspirational, advising books, anything that is going to make you feel better. Don't read the Heartbreak book or the murder mystery or whatever. Read something that is going to help you in this moment. Listen to the podcast. Of course, I'm going to plug my own. Listen to my podcast. Listen to this episode over and over again if you have to, if it helps. And there are plenty others out there as well. Listen to affirmations. Practice your own. I am strong. I can get through this. I deserve love. Things are getting better. And of course, as I mentioned, YouTube, check out those meditations, whether it be for breakup recovery or for releasing negative energy, to feel happy, things like that. And of course, there's apps out there as well for mindfulness, for therapy. Of course, I'm going to encourage anyone to access therapy. If you are at a point where you feel that talking to a professional about what you are going through, I feel like with therapy, you have to be ready for it, is what I'm getting at. So I'm not going to say to you right now, get to therapy, you need it. I personally believe that everybody does need it and benefits highly from it, whether they think they need it or not. However, you have to be ready for it. You have to want it. Therapy absolutely changed my life. It changed my entire perspective. It changed the way that I think, and just being able to, get to grips with my own thoughts, feelings, and to make some sort of progress, and actually also to reflect. It's such a valuable reflection to see how far I've come, and actually, oh my God, the amount of light bulb moments and just epiphanies and incredible feelings and emotions that I've gotten in therapy have just been incredible, because it just gives me what I need. And I do feel that everyone can benefit from it. But like I say, if you are at a point where you feel that therapy would be a beneficial part of your journey, then 100%. But even if you're not on the route of therapy just yet, there are mindfulness apps, there are support pages out there. There is anything that you can just, type a question in or get some sort of support. And with that, Samaritans, there's charities out there as well, if you need it. Because I'll be honest, when I'm speaking about a topic with this, it would be naive of me to think that everyone comes out of this on the other side. There are people who at some point along their journey may get to that point of a crisis where they really feel that there is no end in sight and they don't want to be here anymore. They can't see a way out. And so there is support out there. There are people that are willing to help. And just know that there truly is another life for you after this, and it is incredible. There truly is another chapter in your life about to start from this, and it is going to be incredible. Regardless of whether you can see it right now, I promise you it is simply waiting for you to turn the page, to get up another day, to put one step in front of the other, to show up for yourself. You can do this. And so with that, I just want to remind you all, wherever you are on your journey, you are not alone. You are so not alone. It's important to remember, like I mentioned at the very beginning of this episode, is that so many of us have been through heartbreak before. So many of us will go through it again. So with that, like I say, reach out to groups, support circles, speak to friends, family, other people who have been through the same, who are going through the same. Because it's surprising how when we're going through these experiences, we can feel like we're the only person that's ever been through that. And this is the worst thing ever, and no one will understand, but I promise you they do. You are not alone in this journey. Seek out the help, seek out the support. Connect with others. Feel seen, heard, understood. That's what you need right now. And remember, of course, healing is not linear. It is a roller coaster. Ups, downs, twists, turns, pauses. Maybe it's one of them rides that even goes backwards. Yeah. But I promise you now, your comeback will be so much greater than your heartbreak. It truly will. I promise you that. And so I just want to close, actually, because we spoke about affirmations before. I want to close on a beautiful affirmation right now. I want you to repeat these words after me and feel them in your heart. Feel them in your soul. I am healing. I am whole. And I am coming home to myself. And on that note, that final part actually made me a little bit emotional. I am coming back home to yourself. To yourself, myself. Because that's exactly what this is all about. It's about coming back to you and why you are here. And the incredible person that you are and the life that you are so worthy of and deserving of, and that I want you to have. So, oh gosh, why do I get emotional on all these episodes? Just touched me that final bit then. Yeah, so I truly hope that this episode helped you today. If it did, please let me know. Give it a like, drop a comment below, and also share with a friend. Is there someone who also needs this message? A friend, a family member, a colleague? Is someone else going through this as well? I think that concludes today's episode. As always, thank you so much for listening. I love having you here. I love hearing from you all. I love being a part of your journeys. We are all in this together. If you love this episode, please continue to follow along, to subscribe for more healing and self-love episodes designed for you. You can always shoot me a message. My DMs are open, and I love hearing from you guys. And also, tag me on your socials as well if this resonated or if there's something that hit out for you. I love hearing from you. And for those of you who are interested in connecting with community support circles, meetups, you can check out my page on Instagram at You Deserve Better Podcast with dots in between. I am advertising regular meetups now, and I would love to meet with you. If you are local to Bolton, Bury, Manchester, the surrounding areas, it would be amazing to have you. And also, if you didn't know, we do have a WhatsApp chat, and within that there is so much love and support and encouragement from everyone within it. You've got access to me as well as all the other girls that are in our chat, and we are all just rooting for each other and wanting everyone to just glow through this fucking journey of life, because we deserve it so much. But again, with that, I will always advertise any upcoming meetups firstly within the WhatsApp chat before I advertise them elsewhere, so everyone gets first dibs on that. And also, I quite like asking people's advice in there as well, because I love learning from you, from what you guys want as well. But I shall leave it there, and I look forward to chatting with you all again on the next episode. I love you all so much. Big hugs. I'm proud of you, and you've got this. Goodbye.